Yesterday, we went wall to wall, didn't we, with our coverage of the rally, protest, riot, whatever you want to call it yesterday. I love the Seattle Times. The Seattle Times covered this story, right? They don't want to call them Christians. Don't want to call them, religious. They called them anti-LGBTQ plus. That's how they refer to them. So you had the folks that were there fighting for the marginalized community by throwing bags of feces and bottles of urine and balloons of urine. That's what they're doing on Saturday. I guess they were constipated or something. They weren't able to throw anything yesterday. So you had the two groups. Police did a great job separating them pretty far away. So you had the Christians singing and dancing and doing the whole praise stuff going on, loving on one another. And then you had far enough away the other people that don't like the fact that they were there. So we kept expecting there to be a great big, fight of some sort. I think the police arrested how many altogether?
8.
Eight, right. Right now they're looking, they haven't been charged because they want to look at all the video and all the evidence to make sure that they've got solid charges against the 8. So that's where that whole thing happens. And then yesterday we find out that the FBI, a director announces that investigation into the Capitol Hill rally. So that's that. So that's everything that happened yesterday. We were there and covered it live. We thank our reporters. We're down there. We watched Jonathan Cho get hit, and then he pulls out some weird, look like some sort of wooden thing you pick up at as a souvenir as you're leaving Maui.
Yeah.
Some weird wooden thing. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. Well, we watched it. You did play-by-play.
Watched it live.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So then today, I think it was today, on Como News, Chris Daniels gets a chance to talk to Seattle City Councilman Bob Kettle. I interviewed Kettle once. He seemed like a solid dude. Gets in there a couple times, right? So here is his take when Chris Daniels asked him about the permit to hold the rally. This is the rally that happened on Saturday where 23 people that were yelling and screaming, throwing stuff, assaulting police, and just generally being a nuisance. That's at that rally. So Chris Daniels says, was it a mistake to have the rally or to allow the permit to be there at Cal Anderson? And this is Bob Kettle, City Councilman.
To be blunt, it was a mistake to grant it at Cal Anderson Park. It was a mistake. There's many parks, there's many locations that could have accommodated the group. Cal Anderson should not have been on that list. For all the obvious reasons, the tie-ins with the LGBTQ plus community, and the obvious, tweaking and inciting of that location, the ask for that location. We should not have approved that location.
The Parks Department should not have granted that permit. You're saying that was a mistake?
Granting the permit to protest, yes. Cal Anderson, that was the mistake.
Okay. Is that all of it? What's the last part? If he asked to agree the mayor's portrayal right wing?
Yeah, you might as well play it.
Okay, here's the last part, and then I'll just sort of add a little something to all this.
It is a group that has a position against elements, basically our LGBTQ plus community, and so from that perspective, one can say right wing. I don't know the group, so I'm not going to characterize it beyond that, but clearly they were looking to antagonize by asking for and then receiving the Cal Anderson Park location.
Okay. I'm sorry, where did you get the evidence of that?
Clearly, they were looking to antagonize by asking for and then receiving the Cal Anderson Park location, and that was intentional. And I
understanding the intention, so he's assuming the intent.
I think you can have your First Amendment rights, but then we can do it in a respectful way. And this is across the board. Protest, but be respectful. And I think that piece to it was unfortunate, and was unfortunate that Cal Anderson as a location was given.
So it does sound like you and other council members are asking specifically the Parks Department what was behind that decision.
Those questions have already been asked.
Have they been answered?
No.
Okay, so here's what happened. These guys apply for a permit because that's what they do, and they try to get Pike Place Market. No. So then the city goes back. You got two choices, South Lake Union or Cal Anderson. Cal Anderson's a bigger park, easier to get parking around there, bigger space. Where in South Lake Union, I'm not sure. So then at that point, the organizers of the event, of the rally, said, we'll take Cal Anderson Park. Now, according to Councilman Bob Kettle, and I don't know if he meant this, basically what it sounded like he was saying is, well, that's kind of the area that is known for LGBTQ, so that's sort of their area. So you can't go to that area. If you are not supportive of the way they live their life and the choices they make and the values that they hold, then that's not their area. You're not allowed there. So what I'd like the councilman to do and others to do, give us a map of the city of Seattle and shade in areas that would be okay areas for people that might have different opinions, and then show us areas where they're not allowed to go. Why don't we do that? Because that would be a lot easier. We don't have to get the police involved. So we'll say, well, this is a segregated area. So if you believe that marriage is between a man and a woman, if you also believe that a man can't become a woman, this is the area you're allowed to protest. But if you go over into this area, or you can't go over there, we have to segregate because you have different values and different thoughts. So your First Amendment rights and your ability to gather will be determined by Bob Kettle, who is a city councilman, who will determine that, no, this area belongs to this group, and this area is over here for this group. And what we'll do is just go back to the Chinese Exclusion Act. We'll do the same thing. The reason all the Chinese were down in Chinatown is because they weren't allowed anywhere else. Because if they had gone somewhere else, well, they could possibly be killed or roughed up in some way because we didn't like the fact that the Chinese were coming in and taking our jobs. So we segregated them off to one area. Or we could do the same thing we did with blacks that lived in the Northwest. We all segregated them into a small section. We didn't want them over here because they would drive down property values or create crime or something else. So off we had them go into the Rainier Valley. We segregated stuff because, well, for different reasons, different beliefs, different values. So Bob, are you listening? What area can I go to? Because I have a particular set of beliefs. I have some values. I have some morals that I live by. Where am I allowed to protest? Tell me where I can go and tell me where other people are allowed to go. Let's just make this really simple, because once each one of the areas, we'll do with colors. That would be a really good idea. And we'll say this color is blue and this color is red. Your First Amendment rights will exist here, but not here. There are places called sundown towns, and they still exist. There's about 26 of them in Kentucky, and it basically says that if you're black and you're driving through these towns at sundown, you deserve what you get. So, Bob, I got a question for you. Should those people deserve what they get because they should know better because they're going through towns that they know they're not welcome after the sun goes down? Whose fault is that? Is that the fault of the people that are violating the civil rights of black drivers going through these towns? Or is it the black driver's fault because he should know better? How about the woman that decides, the girl that decides she wants to wear a short skirt and go to a sorority or fraternity party? Well, when she gets roughed up and possibly raped, is it her own fault? Because, well, she should have known better. She's not really going to go there because that's not a place for somebody who has a particular point of view. Or she was intentionally trying to get somebody to hurt her because she was wearing a short skirt. So the religious folks that went into Cal Anderson Park, according to Bob Kettle, they knew this was their intention to incite. Because let's face it, they're not allowed there because that area belongs to LGBTQ area. Well, where's the area that belongs to people that disagree with the LGBTQ people? Where is it? Here are his words again.
To be blunt, it was a mistake to grant it at Cal Anderson Park. It was a mistake. There's many parks, there's many locations that could have accommodated the group.
It was a mistake because why?
Cal Anderson should not have been on that list. For all the obvious reasons, the tie-ins with the LGBTQ plus community.
Oh, yeah.
And the obvious, kind of.
You know what? It's really interesting. In 1968, and I'm not comparing the people that were at the rally it's Saturday and then yesterday. So Martin Luther King says, I'm going to Memphis. And all of the people who knew and loved him said, don't go to Memphis. The garbage men were on strike, and he knew he needed to get in there and show support for the black garbage men that were in Memphis. And he was warned by just about everybody, if you go to Memphis, you could possibly be killed. It is so unbelievably dangerous in Memphis right now. And Martin Luther King said, I'm going because I need to go there because it's important that I show the support. He even predicted his own death, right? So this idea that people should be allowed to go where they want to go for whatever reason they want to go there, not to incite. If you would like to go to express an idea, you're going right into the belly of the beast, you're allowed to do that. But if you want to start segregating and saying, well, this area is too dangerous or this area belongs to this group, right? There's no-go zones in life. London, as much as they deny it, that you would never want to go into a Muslim area, right? Or have somebody from Pakistan run into someone from India, because those are no-go zones, and this is their area, and this is your area, and you stay over here, and you won't cause any problems, and we'll stay over here, and we won't cause any problems. I love the DEI in this one. Bob Kettle, you supporter of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Where's the inclusion? Oh, is it because I disagree or somebody else have a different point of view? So we don't want to get together and have a conversation. No, we just want to cordon off and segregate anybody that might have a different idea than the people that apparently own Cal Anderson Park, or that's their area. They're not, you can't go there. That's their spot. What other spots? Again, let's write to Bob Kettle's office and let's ask him to send us some maps so that we don't have to worry about this. We won't even have to have the police get involved. We won't have to worry about people throwing bags of urine and feces at a bunch of people that they disagree with, because they just won't need to go there because they'll have their own little segregated area. Golly. And for the people that were there, that were screaming and yelling yesterday at these people that you hate them because they're religious, you hate God and stuff. It all gets down to recognition. Recognition is the one thing that fires and fuels human beings. People want recognition. Think about how angry you get when you let somebody in on the highway and they don't give you the wave, right? They haven't recognized you. You go to hold the door for somebody, they walk right by you, they don't say thank you. Why does that bother you? Because you're not getting recognized. We just want recognition. Everybody wants it. You get a trophy if you come in first or second or third. Now everybody gets trophies. So recognition gets diminished. The value of it gets diminished because the supply has met the demand for recognition. But true recognition, right? You've achieved something. You set your mind to something. You hit the goal for it. And then everybody goes, hey, everyone, let's recognize him. Birthday parties, anniversaries, whatever it is, we're recognizing somebody. For a brief period of time, you feel you have value. And what's happened is a small group of people in America and in other places, but speaking to the bunch of people that were down there yesterday screaming and yelling at the Christian folks, you want recognition. For what? What do you want to be recognized for? What is the accomplishment? What happens is that your pain becomes valuable. Your victimization becomes valuable. And you hold on to that pain and you become victimized by, you assume someone else is out there trying to victimize you. So that makes you feel recognized. And the more victimized you are, the more recognized you get. So you hold on to this pain. And this pain becomes something that you live with, and it becomes something of value. It almost becomes like a shield that you have, or an award that you carry with you. So you want to have as much pain that you inflict on yourself, or you feel as if other people are inflicting this pain on you. And that becomes your value. As opposed to whatever pain you're experiencing. I get it. If you got problems with your gender or this or that, or someone hates you because you're gay or whatever, just stand up. Get over, get past. If you feel as if the world is somehow crapping on you, if you really want to be able to stand up and show something, then stand up, right? And don't be taken down by your own sense that, well, my victimization is going to give me the recognition that I need. You're going to be constantly caught in this cycle. You'll be enslaved by your own sort of toxic view of what value is, right? Andrew, let me add poem music. Invidious is written by William Ernest Henning. And he had polio, and he was in a hospital for 3 years, and they're about to amputate his leg, just below the knee. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unquenchable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced, not cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged the punishment, the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Rise up. Be recognized for strength, not recognized for victimhood.